So we're back out in the shed today with the old Skyline. We've just picked up a new 350Z diff. So this one here is a 3.5 ratio. It's going to be a street diff. It is 3.5 ratio LSD, and then I've picked up another 350Z. Well, it's out of Fugger, so it's the same diff, except obviously flange. You sort your flange over. But this one's an open diff, so as you can see there, it's open, so it spins opposite ways. When this one's LSD, it's nice and tight, spins the same way. So this diff here is going to get welded, and it's going to be our drag diff. So it's going to get welded, and then we're gonna run this one for starters, and on 3.5. I know it's going to be too tall for the drags, but just going to see what a launch is like first. Like worst comes to worst. This one here's a 3.3, so it's definitely gonna not be better than that. 3.5. But we'll get another diff ratio for this and just weld it, and it'll be good for drag racing. And we've got our 350Z axles, which bolt straight in. I've just ordered a GK Tech brace for the back of the diff, which bolts to the housing back there, puts another stud at the back, just like the normal Skyline diff in there now. So obviously got the axles, all the CV nuts, bolts, and to bolt these in, you need a conversion bush. So that's it there. So it's an offset bush, solid bush, which gets pressed in to the diff. They are purple, yes. So just gets it offset, so it puts it the right pattern. So there's obviously one there, and then one for the back, which is a different one. But yeah, we'll get the car jacked up and start pulling this diff out. So we've got the old back end all jacked up, got the wheels off, about to pull our CV nuts off and unbolt the axles, and then we can look at dropping the diff out, and then dropping the axles out too, obviously. So we'll get onto that. So you can see there, it's independent suspension in the rear. The diff's 2 bolts there, and then 2 bolts up the front, and then your drive shaft and axles, and then it's out. So pretty easy to work on. So we'll get that all unbolted now and get her out. So we're partway through pulling the diff out. We've got all the axles undone now, and then we're onto our 2 back end plate bolts. I've just loosened them off, got one out already, and then the 2 bolts at the front, and we can lower her down. So I'll probably get these undone and then put the jack under there and just lock down on the jack. Bit easiest way I mentioned. I also had to pull the exhaust off to get to the CV on one side. Yeah, all good because it's got V-bands, so it makes it nice and easy. Like that. Our 19mm head bolts out, and then get the old rail going, and then grab the wrong socket. V17. Didn't come out here to pull the diff out, to be honest. Came out here to just look at the new diff. Didn't expect to be pulling it out, so we'll stay with what we got. Here goes the first bolt and the bush. So we'll get down there now, the jack under there, and jack it up. Just like that. Bolt. And then it should just come out. That. Easy as that, eh? The diff is out. Just pull the jack out, it should stay on there. Diff. So the diff out. Obviously it's our 5x1 R200, it is LSD. It's a 4.8 ratio, which does not suit our setup at all. So yeah, can't wait to get this R350Z diff in. And before we do that, we're going to put the conversion plate on it and a few other bits and pieces, and clean all the subframe up first. So we'll get onto that. We'll finish the video off when we get the parts and chuck her in. So we've got the Skyline R200 and then a 350Z diff sitting beside each other. The biggest difference you can tell is the mounting for there. That's a smaller hole, that's a bigger hole, that's up taller. The flange is smaller, that's way bigger. That's easy to sort though. All we're going to do is take this to the engineers and he's going to re-drill the pattern. Just that'll sort that out. And for the bolting, they make offset bushes, or solid bushes. So they just press in there, offset, like that. And you measure this diff here around about 155. And you go here to there, 155. So yeah, they're just going to press in on a right straight like that sort of thing. So we'll whack the old bushes out and get them in and get that off, take the dry shaft back to the engineer and he can re-drill it to make sure it's all perfectly square. It's an easy job to do, so yeah, it's going to work really well. Obviously that's going to be our drag diff. We don't use that one there at all. It's the GDR style coupling, so get rid of that. Yeah, so this one here has obviously had a bit of a leaky axle, leaky boy for a while. Yeah, so what we'll do now is whack these old bushes out, and I presume they're going to come in from the bottom. They can only really come in from the bottom because that'll stop the diff from falling out, you know, because if it's pressed in like that, the diff can still push down. So they're pressing from the bottom. So we'll get that diff over. That's the back bush there. So there. And obviously that's the back bush for that one. Goes on there like that. And then the G-Tech brace goes on there and gives us our extra stud, which is already in the right spot. So that's easy. So we'll get these bushes out next day. We'll whack these bushes here out. So get the old snap-on hammer chisel. I've already got it halfway out, so easy as that. Actually just snakes out there. One of these been replaced. It's a lot different to the one on the other side, unless that one here's been replaced. So this one's going to be a bit more difficult to get out. Give it a wee whack anyway. Put something out of there. Use the old bush to do that. Still falling down. Try to whack that out. This one's going to be a lot more difficult. We'll continue whacking that bush out, then we'll show you when we get it out. And just like that, we've got the bushes out. So this one here came out really easy. That one almost looks like a genuine bush because it's got a wee bit of a tear in it. I'm not too sure. This one here was an arse. That one there looks like a genuine bush to me. It was in there real tight. So that one's aftermarket, that's why it's pressed out pretty easily. Yeah, but we got them out. And obviously these are going to press in from the bottom, or they just slide naturally, so that's easy. Obviously it's got a couple wee marks from us hammering it out, so it's not going to go on nicely. It's just going to press in there, just tap in, but it goes in nicely that way. To clean up a couple wee marks on there. Yeah, so that's just literally going to tap in there, get the file and just go around that. Do that now, and just like that, the bushes are sitting in there nicely. So they just will spin around till we've got the right spot. That one there's a wee bit tighter, but that's all good. We'll get the subframe bush out now and work out how that's going to work out. Should work pretty good though. Obviously we can't put the diff in until we get that brace, so that'll probably be here from ProLink Performance. And what's today, Tuesday? Should be here Wednesday, Thursday, probably Thursday. Ordered it late tonight, so probably Thursday. And they'll be able to start getting it in. Obviously we'll get that drilled out. And yeah, might actually be going by the weekend. Should be cool to try out this ratio.
So we've got the axles in, old bush is out. So what we'll do now is wheel this new diff under and get it bolted in there. So I've just put new diff oil on it. While it's out, makes it a lot easier job doing it in, out than in the car. So get it in the right spot. And to fall off. I think we're too far back. Yeah. Up there like that, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to let it down a wee bit because it's not all the way back, so we need to get it in the back bush. Just like that. Grease. And just pry it all the way bit. There you go. I don't know how to get in there. Like that. And check it up a little more. In the backing one now, so we'll use one of these nuts, which is different to the old diff. Find a new nut for that, but should we get the front ones in now? So these are the bolts here. I imagine we'll just put that straight in. It's nice to be square. We're going to just one nut the big of the diff first. I'm going to go over in. Actually, it should be that one there. Nut. A nut there, nice flange nut. Still go on the back. Like that. Close. Just a little squeeze. Yeah. Just need a bit of straightening up. Obviously, we don't use these old bushes because that's solid now. This one here. It's close, wasn't it? Obviously we've got our GK Tech mount for the rear, which is going to bolt to the side frame, which we can do that at a later date, which should be this weekend. Oh, that's tight. Nice and tight. Yep. Yep, perfect. So what we do now is bolt these axles in, take the legs and go home. Like that. There we go. Our next job is to drill the pad into this front dry flange. That's that one. So that's 58mm squared. So 58mm across there. So what we're going to do is do 58mm across there and there. So we're going to measure that, get a rough estimate, draw around it, scribe around it, and then mark it, and then measure it up properly. So we'll do that now. So what I've done there is just going to tap in there nicely. That there, perfectly square there. So that just sits in there, perfect, tight, and that's there tight. So what I can do now is scribe around that, and that'll get our centre. There we go, we've got the pad all marked out, drilled, and it's perfectly in the right spot. So we'll get that on the diff now, and we can pop the drive shaft on, then it's all done. So right here on our first test drive with the new diff. And obviously I've got no working counters at all, but I've got this here. When it hits 100k, I'll see what my RPM, it should be 2.8 is what I worked it out as. 100k, we're doing 2.850 on the computer, on the LTEC. So that is a big win for our street diff. You can see there 2.9 doing 102. So yeah, that's real good, and she's definitely a lot slipperier than the old diff, that's for sure. It would only really do one wheel all the time. So yeah, that's real well. Join us on our next episode, and we'll be putting the GK Tech stud in, and we'll be looking at doing some GK Tech engine mounts and cooling panel and a few other bits and pieces under the hood.